My name is Terry Swears. I'm a member of the Atrex support team. Today we're going to look at a few of the new features in Atrex 22. Let's get started by looking at the stock code selection window. Just as in previous versions of Atrex, you can search for products by entering the starting portion of a stock code. In Atrex 22, you now have two additional ways to search for products. The first is the containing text field, which allows you to search for products that have specific words in the fields included in the search. This field defaults to searching the product description, model, and tags fields in the inventory table. The second new field allows you to quickly limit the selection list to a specific product category. Please note that you can use two or all three of these fields at the same time when searching for products. While we are here, you might notice the product link button at the bottom of the window. This button will be enabled if the highlighted product has a link in the product URL field. Clicking on this button will open up that link in your default browser. Onto the stock code editing window, we have a couple of new features here as well. The first is a checkbox that indicates that the item is price restricted to MSRP. If this option is checked, when the product is added to a transaction, it will always be added at the list price regardless of the customer's pricing level or any special pricing that they may have. Next is the charting tab. The chart displayed on this tab will show you the total sales and service volume for the current item for the last 18 months, with visual indicators of the total price and cost for the item. The last item we'll look at here is the Supplemental Categories tab. This tab allows you to assign a product to additional categories for use with the WooCommerce and ZenCart utilities. When sent up to your shopping cart, the product will show up online in the primary product category and the additional categories assigned here to make it easier for your customers to search for your products. Previously, we mentioned that the containing text field on the stock code selection window defaults to the description, model, and tags fields. If you want to add or remove search fields, you can do so via the Options tab of the User-Defined Fields and Sizes customization function. Click on the ellipsis button to display the field selection window and select the fields that you want to include in the search field. Let's take a look at a couple new features related to customers. If your Atrex is configured to use the US phone number format, entering phone numbers just got a lot easier. In previous versions, you were required to enter the number in the 334 format, separated by dashes. Now you can enter phone numbers without the dashes, with area code parentheses, or even periods as the separator, and Atrex will reformat the number into the proper format when you exit the field. Atrex can now store banking information on the customer record to allow for ACH processing through a WorldPay or CardKnox merchant account. Simply enter the account information in the appropriate fields, add a voided check image for proof of authorization for ACH processing, and click the Submit button. The information entered is then sent to the merchant processor to verify that the account and routing information is valid, which then returns a secure token that can be used later for payment requests. Requests from customers for copies of their transactions is a regular occurrence. To make this a little easier, we have added multi-select capabilities to the customer history windows, allowing you to reprint multiple transactions at once. In addition to the customer history windows, multi-select capabilities have been added to the sales and service transaction windows, as well as the quote transfer and order shipping windows. Let's take a look at the order shipping, as we can see several new features that are implemented here. In previous versions, you had to either ship all of the available items or ship each item individually. Now you can right-click, enable multi-select, highlight the items you want to ship, and click the Ship All Selected button, which will ship all of the available highlighted items at once. This can save a lot of time when partially shipping orders or transferring quotes. On the payment window, there is a new visual indicator showing if a credit card or ACH payment has been submitted through an integrated merchant processor. This column will be blank for payments that have not been processed, will show a clock indicating a pre-authorized credit card that can be captured later, or a green arrow and check mark to indicate that it has been processed or submitted. The indicator for the credit card on this order shows that it has a pre-authorized amount that can be captured. If we process the pre-auth and finalize the card payment, you will see that the indicator changes to show that it has been submitted. As the pre-authorized amount didn't cover the full order shipment, let's pay the balance off with an ACH payment and complete the order shipping. Next up, let's take a look at recurring invoices. With Atrex 22, creating, editing, and deleting recurring invoices is all performed from a single window, making the overall management process much simpler. In addition, all of the windows involved with recurring invoice maintenance are active windows, so you don't have to close one to edit another. And as you might expect, payment handling for recurring invoices has been expanded to allow for both credit card and ACH payment types. And one last quick feature for those who use service orders. You can now change the status of a service order from the Open Service Order Selection window without having to go all the way into the transaction. Thank you for joining me today. We hope that you enjoy the new features in Atrex 22 as much as we do.